Hello everyone and welcome to this EV Geek Studios video. We're trying something a little different with our flow at the beginning. As always, I'm Sebastian. The one and only Joel Spencer is behind the camera today.
Hola, my people.
And this that he is showing off is a 2026 Subaru Uncharted Sport. I'm actually really excited about this. Joel knows I have a soft spot for vehicles that are in this size class, so I'm really excited to check this out. So for those who are unaware, this is the third EV in Subaru's lineup right now. So you have the Uncharted, which is the smallest, the Solterra, which just got refreshed and has been around for a couple years, and the Trailseeker, which is bigger. This is a Crosstrek, the Solterra is a Forester, and the Trailseeker is a Outback kind of size-wise.
And then compare them to the Toyotas?
Cars. And then the Toyota, you have the CHR, which is this, the Solterra and the BZ, and then the Trailseeker and the BZ Woodland. So yeah, this is one of these co-developed cars, but I'm super excited to really check it out. I love the way this thing looks. We'll talk about that more as we go. So we're gonna get in on this video. We're gonna do an exterior tour. We're gonna talk charging, range. We'll do a tour of the inside, go through infotainment and all that, and we'll take it out for a spin. So without further ado, let's plug in and get started.
All right, Sebastian, as always, because you do a master class on it, give us a tour of the outside of this Uncharted.
Yeah, that bird is loud.
It is.
Anyway.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Don't worry about that. So if you want to just take a peek at the front, we'll start here. So the Uncharted looks very, very similar to the CHR. In fact, I mean, I'm sure people would be able to tell, but if we covered these little Pleiades stars at the beginning, you might not know that this was a Subaru. Anyway, I still kind of like the way it looks. You've got the split light design, kind of similar to what we saw on Solterra as well, with the turn signal DRLs up here at the top, headlight down low. This one has some gloss black accenting at the bottom instead of the black plastic cladding that we've kind of come to expect from Subaru's EVs. That said, you still get some black plastic cladding here around the wheels, although very minor compared to Solterra and Trailseeker.
Yes.
And then you've got the black plastic at the bottom of the doors, which I think looks pretty good. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Golly. Anyway, these are the wheels on the sport trim. So these are these 18s? They look like 18s. Yep, 18-inch wheels, all black. I'm not a huge fan of all black wheels.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are fine. I would like maybe a little bit of silver, silver
little accent
trim,
there,
little
yeah.
accenting. Coming around, so the Uncharted, this is the middle trim level. So this is the Sport. This one is all-wheel drive, 338 horsepower. And because it's all-wheel drive, we're looking at 287 miles of range on this version.
And all the Subarus have the same battery, correct?
Yes, so this one's a 74.7 kilowatt hour gross battery pack. And like I said, 287 on this trim level. The base model is interestingly front-wheel drive, which is weird for a Subaru. But because of a front-wheel drive powertrain, that one has 308 miles of range. And then the top trim level on this is the GT, which gets you down to like 270-ish miles of range. This is on bigger wheels.
Sticker on this would be?
Sticker on this one before destination and options was $39,795. Okay. That base front-wheel drive model, 35 grand.
Gotcha. Good. That's Bolt territory.
That's Bolt territory. Now this one does cosmic white paint, is a $475 option. This one has a couple options for like all-weather mats and a cargo tray. After destination, this one's $42.
Yep.
Anyway, so that's kind of that. You can look at the exterior. It has that very swooped coupe SUV shape, and you can see they did the thing where they move the door handles up and kind of hide them a little bit. I think it looks kind of cool. You can see you get a double spoiler situation, which I kind of like the look of. So you have this bigger one down low, and then you have this little tail thing that we saw on the previous gen Solterra, and then they took it away for this one, which I thought was interesting. It's got Subaru spelled out here on the back.
I like the black writing.
Uncharted, symmetrical all-wheel drive. Yeah, I like the black whiting of a white car.
Huge shout out to Subaru
cool.
of Little Rock for letting us get our hands on this. It literally just came off the truck.
Yeah, literally came off a truck yesterday.
Yep.
They did a PDI and let us come pick it up this morning. It
Yep.
had like 5 miles on it when we got in. Super cool.
Yes.
Super happy that they were able to get this set up for us.
You mentioned the turn signals are in a weird spot.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. So you do get a power lift gate. Like to see it on this. Smaller trunk space. This kind of makes it hard to show. I'll put that up. Smaller trunk space. Makes sense though, because again, you've got that big swooping line. And really in this class of vehicle, that's kind of expected. You do have a 120 volt outlet here, which is nice, and a button to turn it on and off.
Yep.
And it looks like it's 1500 watt rated. I thought that was going to bonk me for a second. 1500 watt rated.
Yep.
Because it's a smaller trunk, you can put the seats down, which if this was out of the way, okay, cool. It just lifts and gets out of the way.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. There we go.
You can put the seats down from here. It looks like these seats also have some reclining features, which we did not see on the Trailseeker.
Nope.
Let's see. Whoop.
Same cargo area, similar.
It's a very similar cargo area underneath. You can see it has a little like load stop thing going on there too. Underfloor, you got it. This one actually has the tire kit in it. Nice. Oh, I broke it. Not actually. A little bit.
There we go.
I do appreciate Subaru is on all of these, including a level 2 charger. And since this is a NACS native vehicle, they're actually including, which this is a pretty decent value add, the NACS to CCS adapters. NACS to J1717.
That could easily be all this together, $500 add-on.
Oh yeah,
easily, yeah.
Especially because it's a Subaru branded part, and of course this has the all-weather mat in it. I actually didn't notice this before. It has Velcro on the bottom, so it'll
sit right there.
Stay wherever you leave it. Awesome. Love to see it. Go ahead and pop that closed. I love that Subaru lets you not only close the trunk, but you can close and lock it. You said you don't care. I like that feature. Also like that you get the. This one's not actually a true light bar. It's got the kind of look of a light bar. But yeah, like you mentioned, they put the turn signals down here low on the bumper. Let me see if I can get those to.
Yep.
There you go. Which is a bit interesting. They're not so low that I don't think they can't be seen.
Yep.
That drives me insane, like on the Chevy Bolts and things like that, where they're actually down here, and then these lights are just dummies. All right, let's take a look at the back seat. I had you get on the passenger side for a reason. This does have memory seats, easy entry, exit, and it's all the way back on the driver's side right now.
Yep.
Go ahead and pop that.
Spoiler, I've already been back here. So love this two-tone color too. And
Yeah,
we'll
the
see
two-tone
some
is
more
awesome.
See some more of it in the
I want to
front.
see what that's called while you look at that.
So yeah, so plenty of room here in the back. As you can see, I am 6'1". As you can see, plenty of room still with me sitting in the front who is 6'1". As you can see, you have 2 USB-Cs. This is only a front zone climate, I believe.
Yeah, so dual zone up front.
Dual zone up front, yes.
But you do at least get vents and USB-C ports.
Yep.
No heat or anything back here. That's kind of expected in this class vehicle.
Yep.
You do have your
I have no idea how to recline these seats, by the way.
center console area with that little phone holder, which we saw on Trailseeker as well. And you should be able to, it actually might just be up here. Oh yeah, you just do this.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. It looks like 2 levels.
Gotcha.
So it can lock in there and lock in here. I wonder if a Trailseeker did that too, and I just didn't
We
notice.
just never noticed. It probably did. And then
I do like you also get 2 seat back pockets, which is nice to see on both sides.
Let's pop out. Sebastian did mention that this car was NACS.
NACS native, and this again is the same powertrain you find in the Solterra and Trailseeker. So it's 74.7 kilowatt hour battery pack, 150 kilowatt peak DC fast charge rate claimed, 10 to 80 in like 28 minutes.
Gotcha.
Not anything class leading, but seems
And you did
on
charge
par
it
with a lot of things.
because it was low on charging, so we did charge it. What was the peak?
So we only saw about 130-ish kilowatt peak, but it's not preconditioned, anything like that. There was another car there when we plugged in, so I don't know if that could have played into it a little bit.
Trailseeker did peak at 150.
Trailseeker, we did see 150 on.
Yep, and we preconditioned all that fun stuff.
The only thing we haven't looked at, which knowing the other 2 cars, I'm not expecting much, does it have a front trunk?
We already know the answer to that.
I pretty much already know the answer. I haven't actually looked, but here we go. Boom.
It's the unveiling of the answer that we already know.
It's probably the unveiling of the powertrain, right?
Yes. Watch us be totally wrong and have egg on our face. Hey, looks like the Trailseeker.
Identical.
Yes.
So it is a little disappointing for this to be a ground-up EV, for it to not have
Something.
a front trunk
Even
of
their front
any
color
kind.
like ours has.
But a lot of people don't use their front trunk, so I could see why maybe Toyota, Subaru were just like, whatever.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. If you ever need to know this, there's your emergency release for the charge port.
Oh, it is. There it
If
is.
for some reason you can't get your NACS handle out.
Yep.
All right, we'll pop that closed.
You ready to go inside?
Let's take a last just look at the front of this. I really like the way this looks. And for it to be essentially the electric Crosstrek, I feel like they nailed that energy perfectly.
They did.
Let's get in.
Let's get in. All right, I'm inside. Sebastian will be inside.
Yeah, so I mainly am just standing. I want to be able to really see. I love this two-tone, this gray and then the black on the outers of the seats. I like this pattern here as well. I just think it looks really cool. But you can see you've got the gray accenting like on the center console. Also really love this dashboard. I'll go ahead and hop in.
I love this. It has almost like a copper accent.
Yeah, that copper accent looks cool. So like I said, middle trim level. This does have memory seats. So when I turn it on, it is going to scoot me forward. I did go ahead and set my settings to profile number 1. So we're good. It does make a very generic Toyota ding there, and it's going to play us a little Subaru movie.
And that air is blazing.
Yeah, let me go ahead and crank that down a little bit.
Yep.
Not off, just down. Whoop.
Up. There we go.
And looking at general layout of this interior, it's almost identical to the other Subaru EVs we've seen so far. It's just a little smaller, but you can see you get a 14-inch screen, 2 wireless phone chargers, the Bop-It, 2 cup holders, the center console that opens both ways.
Yep.
By the way, did you know that this vehicle was assembled by Toyota in Japan?
There you go.
It's almost like they're shared.
I know.
And it feels like this actually will come out.
Look at there's other stuff below there. There is stuff below there, Sebastian, I promise. I don't think it's in the right way. I think it fell down.
Oh yeah, it looks like that's the owner's manual, which makes sense because there is no glove box.
Actually, the owner manual's right here.
Oh, whatever. I do like that you get a little storage pocket down there, though, as well as a 12-volt outlet. And does this one have the 2 USB-Cs?
I got a USB on
one
mine,
USB-C
yeah.
here. Very nice. Okay, that's a little too off. Same design here with the squircle steering wheel, manual adjust, tilt, telescope, whatever. And then you have your driver instrument cluster, heads-up display situation up there at the very top of the dash, which you're getting some glare. You can't really see. It's a very basic screen. We're not going to spend too much time on it.
Yep.
We'll look at the infotainment here just briefly. This was, again, same thing that you see in Solterra. And if you've seen Trailseeker, I don't know which order I'm releasing these.
Yep.
It's the same thing there. Joel wants to take a sip of a drink.
I need to take a drink.
We'll come in here. We're not the registered owner, so I have to tell it to skip setup. There we go. Because we're not the registered owner, we can't use the built-in navigation. That said, this car does not have native route planning, which is a bummer for a ground-up EV platform. And unlike the Toyota Twins right now do so, so this does have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless. The Toyota ones do as well. The Toyotas will let you do Apple Maps EV routing. The Subaru doesn't yet. I'm assuming that will come with an update because I don't see why this car can't do it if it's the same software stack. But I digress. We'll come in here. You do have your media, so this has Sirius XM. You also can come in here and you can do Apple Music and Amazon Music straight on the radio if you don't want to use your phone for some reason. We'll come in vehicle settings. I do like that in here you have on-demand battery preconditioning. Love to see it, especially considering the car doesn't have route planning, so you're going to need that. I do like to see it. And when we were in the Trailseeker earlier, it looks like it lets you run it to a pretty low percentage, which is nice. It doesn't like cut off at 20% or anything like that. You can also set a battery preconditioning schedule, which is interesting. You get your charge schedule stuff that you would expect. You can look at all-wheel drive if you want to watch the motors work. There's no alerts on here. Not a whole lot else in here I want to talk about. If you come into general, I do think it's neat. You can change the sensitivity so that you can use it with gloves.
That's where the screen beep thing was.
Yeah, that's where the screen beep was that I couldn't find earlier on the other vehicle. Because if you have it on, it does this. And it's very annoying.
Especially when you're trying to film.
Anyway, that's all normal. You do have climate controls here. I like that you have, it's on a screen, but you do still have some physical buttons for what's important, such as temperature. You have your auto, climate, and all that. You can actually hit this and expand. You get a couple more options. So you can have it only cool where there's people sitting. You have eco heat and cool. And you have de-icer. This has a windshield wiper de-icer, which is neat. So if your windshield wipers are frozen, you can have that on. It'll heat them up so you can break them free, which is nice. I'm assuming there's an X under it. No, it's down there. You can also click this and you have just some toggles for like blind spot monitoring. This has all of the safety features you would expect out of a Subaru with the standard eyesight system. It's shared with the Toyota as well. We'll close that. And other than that, not a whole lot else in this infotainment system to talk about, especially with no route planning.
Yep.
I do like, which I'll throw a picture of from the Trailseeker that we drove. It's the same on here. where if you have CarPlay connected, you can actually have it fill up the whole screen and hide the Subaru interface, which is really nice. I keep almost saying Toyota, it's a problem. 2 wireless phone chargers, and they seem to work pretty well. The phone doesn't have to be directly centered on it or anything.
I like that it tells you when the phone is charged.
Yes, and it tells you on there as well, which is nice. The Bop It, drive, reverse. You do get a 360 camera on the sports trim, which is nice, and it does. Let me see if I can get it to. We will move the car a little bit. It's mad I'm not wearing my seatbelt. It will make the car transparent and then show you kind of under you, and it works forward as well, so that you can kind of know what you're running over. And it does a pretty dang good job lining it up.
It does.
I also like that it does show the curves and all that.
Yep.
And even if you are in drive and you need the camera, you do have a button here to go into your camera view. And you can see now that I'm in drive, as I go forward, it will fill in and show underneath. Really nice, really like to see it feature. You can also have it if you want. It will turn on anytime the car comes to a stop or hits a low speed for like parking, maneuvering, and all that jazz. But I turned that off because I didn't need it earlier. You can also set these to more wide angle views as well, instead of just kind of front facing. And it's mad I'm not wearing my seatbelt right now. Good on it. I should be wearing a seatbelt. Anyway.
So no glove box in these.
No glove box. There is
you
an
get
option.
storage down here. And Subaru also gives you...
Well, I don't know if that's given or if that's just in this one.
Oh, it was in the last one,
It was in the last one. I didn't see it on the window sticker, so maybe they give it to you.
These are USB-C.
Yeah, USB cables for the radio and stuff.
And there's 4 of them in there.
Nice.
Yep.
You do have down here, so like I mentioned, you have your camera button, parking brake, auto hold, because this does not have one-pedal driving. Toyota and Subaru aren't doing that for whatever reason. You have your drive modes, which come up on this screen, so you can see we're in no drive, power, eco, and back to no drive. You also have X mode, which is kind of their off-roady vibe. So you have snow, dirt, and then deep snow and mud, as well as this button here for kind of an off-road cruise control, which is cool. 2 cup holders, not a whole lot else to talk about there. Like you said, no glove box. I really, really like this copper accent though. And this is kind of the leather-y material, and then you have this more rubber. It's textured though. It actually kind of feels nice. It's also hot.
Yes. Cold day, but the sun is hot.
No glass roof on the sport trim. I believe you do have to go to the
touring
GT trim, the top of the line, in order to get the glass roof, which on the Uncharted you have premium front wheel drive, sport, and GT are your trim levels. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot to talk about here. We won't go too far into this. It's a very basic gauge cluster screen, so you can either show just your speed, or you can show like basic trip computer information or like a driver assistance view, but not anything crazy.
Nothing major.
Nothing major, and that's it.
Probably standard that all other Subarus have.
No options. It's very old school. You still have an Odo trip button here to change between trip computers and the odometer, which is very old school classic.
Kind of OG.
Whatever. Keep it simple, stupid. You have automatic high beams. You do have, it looks like, head wipe washer. Cool. You've got power fold mirrors. There we go. They fold in pretty far. Cool, with a blow blind spot monitor. Let's see, auto up and down windows. Auto down. Auto up.
There you go.
Are they auto down in the back?
They are.
Nice, all automatic windows. They're not labeled, so I really didn't know the answer to that question. All right, are we ready to take it for a spin?
Let's take it for a spin. All right, we are on the road doing 70 miles an hour. Sebastian, how does it feel over there? Does it feel tiny, or does it feel like you got enough room?
Yeah, so I mean, this is obviously the smallest of the ones we've driven, right?
Yep.
It's smaller than Solterra, smaller than Trailseeker. That said, the actual layout, like you can tell it's a little tighter because like I'm man spreading a little bit down here, and my knees are both hitting something on both sides, but it still feels fine. Seats feel comfortable, at least in the short time we've been in them so far. The seating position is fine for a crossover-y type thing. I'm actually a little close to the seat. There we go. Anyway, this is fine. And the actual center tunnel is the same layout as the other cars.
Yes.
And so it's familiar feeling. We went ahead and charged this before we actually did the review because we've noticed on the other Subarus we've driven, they lose power for certain at lower state of charge. And that's a fairly common thing to hear about EVs, but we've kind of seen in our use you don't really notice it a lot of times.
You're right.
You might be a couple horsepower down, like at a Tesla, for example, at 10%, or my Ioniq 5 doesn't really feel that different at 10% versus 100%. In these, I can definitely notice. And so we went ahead and went and charged it, and we kind of gave it to Beans back there a little bit just to see. I gave it good power when we picked it up, kind of so I could feel. It is definitely quicker at 40% than it is at 13%. It's got good power, 338 horsepower on the all-wheel drive Uncharted, so a little bit less than, for example, Trailseeker. I believe that's the same amount that you get on Solterra. Trailseeker is 375 from the similar powertrain, same battery pack, all that jazz. And out here on the highway, we kind of both noticed it is louder than those other two cars.
Yes.
Fairly expected on a small SUV like this. But just keep that in mind. Of course, if you were to buy one of these, are probably going to be listening to the radio. And so you might not notice it as much. We don't listen to the radio when we have to review cars because copyright issues.
We don't want to pay people for their music.
I had driver assistance going that whole time. It did fine. It did perfectly acceptable. It has lane centering with a capacitive wheel, like the other two Subaru EVs and the Toyota EVs do. Capacitive wheels, my preferred, obviously. Because you don't have to jerk the wheel around to keep the lane centering active, which kind of defeats the purpose of lane centering if you have to mess around with the wheel.
Also notice the Sport Edition has automatic
power seats on both sides.
Seats,
nice.
The lower level Trailseeker, the premium.
We do also have heated seats in here and a heated steering wheel, which is nice. And now, see, so it's a little noisy on the interstate. But now it's quiet doing 45 on asphalt.
This is a nice new road here, too.
This is an asphalt road, not concrete. Nice. I'm taking a quick peek. I want to see. They recently tore down our supercharger here in Little Rock to, I believe, replace it. And I'm just kind of curious to see what they're putting in.
Yeah, this is an old V2 150 kilowatt station.
Yeah, so this was a V2. I'm curious to see if we're going V3.5 or V4, which there might not be any info on.
They've closed the whole station, haven't they?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, well, they can do that now because we have one open up now.
They have one in North Little Rock, so we're not really killing the area for per se.
And Bucky's down the road is opening one here shortly in a few months.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just a little curious to see that. Oh, that's a pool.
That's a family leisure.
I didn't know that was there.
Yep.
Anyway, squirrel.
So, if you had to buy a small car, thinking of the new Bolt or this, can't buy the X30 anymore, what would you lean towards?
I do legitimately
It's been about 7 months since we've driven the Bolt.
I do legitimately like this. I would like to drive the Bolt again before I had to answer that question definitively. And I would like to drive the new Leaf.
Yeah, because we only got the Bolt up to like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, because we were on the Universal Studios backlot. Super cool experience, but not really indicative of actual
I believe
driving.
they're expanding this lot too.
Interesting.
They're going to expand it and they're going to switch it out. So.
Interesting.
Yep.
Anyway, going back to your question, that said, as far as like the actual small SUV-ness goes, this is nice.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. What I'm really curious about is nice. He's going to the Harley show back there.
Yep.
I'm really curious is, this summer we're supposed to be getting EX3.
Yeah.
And that will be, I think, an interesting comparison because right now, kind of on paper, I think I would pick this.
Yep.
But I'd be very curious to compare this to the EV3.
Yep.
Once it comes to the U.S. market. So yeah, it looks like there's not much to see out here. It's all just tore up. Kind of loop back around and start heading back towards Subaru of Little Rock. Huge thanks to them, by the way, for letting us borrow this car.
Huge thanks. Like literally,
it literally came off the truck
I reached out to them and saw they had a Trailseeker in stock, and this was literally last night. And I said, hey, love to get a Trailseeker. And Alex over there said, actually, we got an Uncharted, and you want to get both of them? And I'm like, heck yeah, let's get both. And it was nice because, we don't see many reviews out here, and these are not a lot of cars we see on this part of the neck of the woods.
Based on the fact that they're tearing up all the concrete, this might be going V4.
It may be.
Because if it was V3.5, I think they'd be able to use all the existing
And they're going the whole way
conduit.
down, so they will be adding more there. I'm
Cool.
assuming this is going to be like a 12 or 16 stall.
Cool.
Stop now, yep.
Anyway.
We digress.
I digress. Let me get back out here. But yeah, I'm really curious to see. Now, the one thing I would love to see Subaru increase, and I've mentioned it on every video, and this is one of those things that maybe doesn't matter to a lot of people. I would like to see 10 to 80% charge times that are better than 28 minutes. You
like to get down to the 20-minute range.
At least. Now,
we're spoiled on our EGMP cars.
Yes. That's very normal in the current U.S. market. Outside of the U.S., that's still painfully slow. But in the U.S. market, 10 to 80 in 30 minutes seems to be kind of where every OEM is targeting, unless they're an 800-volt car or whatever else.
But we see a lot of people backing away from 800-volt for cost-wise.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And it's one of those things, it's like, ultimately for a lot of people who don't do that much road tripping or whatever, they don't care. It doesn't matter to them. They get home, they're going to plug their car in the garage, which just has a 11 kilowatt onboard charger, And when they wake up in the morning, it'll be at whatever percent they have set. Cool.
They're good to go. Yeah.
They're good to go. But for me, I take just enough road trips in a year that the faster I can charge, the better.
You take about one a month.
Yeah, we go on the road fairly frequently.
They're not very long, but they're road trips.
But
you have to charge.
We do have to charge.
At least once or twice, yes.
And of course, I'm in Ioniq 5, so I tend to 80 in 18 minutes, and it's very good at doing that.
Very consistent. We'll have a video about that, by the way, coming
soon. As I try to get merged back out here without getting.
By the way, you did pick the worst entrance.
It's fine. It's whatever. Crossing traffic caution.
I like that.
That was a neat feature. I mean, I could see them, so I didn't really need the car to ding and tell me that. But anyway.
You want to head back to Subaru and give you our final thoughts?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. Final thoughts, Sebastian, on the 2026 Subaru Uncharted.
Yeah, so I ultimately really like this car.
You've been looking forward to this. You said
I have been looking forward to driving this car, and I'm honestly not disappointed. I like the way it rides. It's pretty dang smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little noisy in there, but I mean, on the way back, we listened to the radio, and it didn't bother me.
Yep.
I immediately was able to tune out the road noise and stuff because of music. So, yay. It wasn't so overbearing that I just couldn't ignore it. But yeah, I really like the way it rides. It's got good power, for sure. Steering is numb, whatever, but it's a crossover. I'm kind of expecting that. I like having this big kind of with the 2 phone chargers. The software's fine. I would probably end up just using Apple CarPlay though.
Just because
it's not to the point where I feel like I could only use the software. It's not that good. And for things like, I'm gonna keep going through the things I really like with the car. I really like the interior design too. I love this copper accenting. I love the 2-tone. I think for this to be a compact crossover, it still does it's a very good use of space.
Yes.
Like the second row, for us to be 6 foot tall, we were still able to fit pretty comfortably back there. Headroom was maybe a little limited because of the coupe shape, but it was still not bad.
It wasn't, our heads weren't hitting or anything. Back there,
cargo space, again, because of that kind of coupey shape, you lose a little bit of cargo space, but it's still fine. And in my opinion, it seems pretty comparable to what you would find in like the Bolt, the new Bolt, or like a Nissan Leaf and things in this class. Now, there are things I could see improvement on. I would love to see improved charging. That's one of those, for me, it matters. Other people, I understand, maybe don't care, but for me, I'd love to see maybe a little bit better than 10 to 80 in 28 minutes. And what I think is a much bigger deal is this car needs route planning.
Yes.
I think launching, especially this being a brand new model, an EV in 2026 that doesn't have route planning is just a miss. And I mean, even if it was only to do route planning through Apple Maps, like you will get on the CHR and the BZ and the BZ Woodland, Subaru needs to get on that. They need to get that worked out so they can at least have some form of Apple route planning. Although I don't love the idea of only having route planning if you have an iPhone and you're using CarPlay. Yeah. It's like it should be built into the car.
We saw nothing on here for Android Auto.
It has Android Auto.
Okay. It does. Okay. I didn't see that on the thing.
It has Android Auto.
Okay, good.
But nonetheless, I don't want route planning necessarily to only be locked to iPhone users. That said, I would rather be on iPhone users only than not at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Subaru, we got to get that. We got to get route planning at least so that people can feel like they can drive further than 282 miles.
And you can use maps like a better route planner and things like that. If you
yes, but then you need an adapter. It's like a whole thing.
It
like
needs
it in 2026. It should be built into the car.
I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
What do you think?
That's when we drove the Trailseeker, depending on whether or not which video comes out first. I said it was on my short list. The reason it hasn't been in the top of that list yet is because of in-route planning.
Yeah.
Because it's just, if you're taking a quick trip, just like, Memphis or Dallas, something like that, it's nice to have that, not worried about your phone hooked up, not worried about using a better route planner with the dongle plugged in and things like that. It just like when we said Tesla's going away from, lane centering and things like that, some things should just be standard on all cars now, and that should be one of them.
Yeah.
But other than that, you are more of a small, compact EV person than I am because I have large people. I have not large people. I have grown kids. My wife's going to kill me for that one.
I'm going to send Summer a clip of that.
There we go. I mean, I have grown kids, and we need more room to travel. I'm 6'2". My other son is 6 feet. My wife and son, they're both short, but we need room to travel with things like that. So you're more of the compact car lover than I am. It is a nice car, though. If I had to get one, this would be the one I get over the Bolt or over the EX30, which is like we said, which is a lot smaller than this, and you can't buy them anymore. But Subaru did a nice job. What I like about the Subaru cars is all the interiors are basically the same. They've kept it simple. It's not like where you're getting a BMW or something and everything looks different. it's all the same.
Yeah.
And it probably helps them with manufacturing costs and things like that. So,
Yeah.
All right, that is a wrap. Thank you all for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification icon before you leave. And as always, we'll see you on another EV Geek Studio review. So long, everyone.